What is going on, everyone? I have Aaron Bex, also known as Navier, with me today, going over his season with RTT. For those who are unaware, I won season 4 of RTT. Aaron came in and joined season 5 and also ended up winning the entire event. Huge shout outs to him because he's amazing. He was a huge success of part of why I ended up winning my league. Honestly, even why I was in contention of potentially making top 8 this season. And honestly, there's no one else I would have rather had make it, not only to finals, but also taking home the trophy. So Aaron, what's up, my dude? How are you?
Thanks, Carter. I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about the team and the league this season.
Of course, of course. So, for those who are unaware, RTT, also known as Redeem the Trash, is a draft league that a group of mutual friends between us all now. Jay came to me last season and said, "Hey, we're looking for extra people. Do you mind if I post this in the server?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come play. Why not?" And the idea behind the draft league is you take all the really good Pokemon and throw them away. They're just not eligible to be played. So we're stuck with some very... There's some stinkers.
Yeah, there are, but there are also some winners. The other big thing in this league is there's no weakness policy.
Correct.
So you can't just slap a random weakness policy on a Dano and use a... Oh wait, that's not a good example. How are you gonna proc that? Maybe Ice Shard?
Or Mach Punch.
Right, Mach Punch, yeah.
But things like you specifically talking about my team. I had Magwarder, I had Kingler. I'm not going to be able to proc those policies, do things like that. So instead, you had to come up with unique ways of doing things. Right.
Life Orb is very huge.
Life Orb is probably one of the best items. Eviolite is as well because there's so many not fully evolved Pokemon in this league that are good. I know not only between season 4 and 5, we also rebalanced the power level. We bumped it up compared to how it was, and there wasn't
we reformatted some of the points, right? So it's up to 20 points.
Yeah, we do that every season. I believe season 4 we went to 18 was the top. This season we bumped it to 20, and then for season 6, I think we're bumping it down to 14.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be really interesting. There's a lot of things that we might talk about today that are just not gonna be even viable next season because they're just too good. So where do you want to start, man? You want to just start breaking down the team with what you took home the trophy with?
Yeah, so Carl could put it on screen here, but the team was Dusknoir, Regice, Wartortle, Sceptile, Dracloak, Klinklang, Stoutland, Galvantula, Solrock, Dunsparce, and Spiritomb. And this was the order that they were drafted in. You can see the point totals here on the right. And so in this league, it was 100 points max, right? And you had 11 picks, so that roughly is about 9 points per Pokemon as an average. And so you can aim there for when you're trying to get your supports and your strong Pokemon. You wanted to leave some room up above and below 9. And so I guess I can, if you don't mind, I can talk about my draft strategy a little bit here.
Yeah, talk away, man.
So I was the 11th pick for this, and it's a snake draft, right? So I knew basically that I'd get basically 2 back-to-back picks. So I started trying to think in duos when I was drafting, but also trying to think ahead a little bit. So the one thing that I really wanted was a strong slow mode, and what first popped out to me was in the not the highest tiers, but Dusknoir and Regice were sort of in the middle, a little more powerful. But 11 and 15, Dusknoir sets its own trick room, and it also has insane bulk. So if I'm scrolling down here on my dock, I have 135 defense, 135 SPDF, and 45 HP. So you just invest 252 into HP, 252 into attack, and it's a bulky monster. So that was one of my favorite or sorry, my strategies going in was this trick room mode. So after that, so I have this trick room setter, sweeper, and then just a straight trick room sweeper. And also, if you know, Red Ice has 200 base Badef,
Yeah,
obviously.
just
So
absurd.
you know, Badef wall. Yeah. So with that, so that one of the strategies that I wanted after that, after seeing Red Ice and grabbing that in the second round, eventually I knew I wanted to intimidate, so that their plan for dealing with this special wall or dealing with intimidate and maybe Will-O-Wisp or something like that. So some of it was probably early on, like around this round 1 or 2, that I thought Herdier or Stoutland would be a good pick. Stoutland was 15. Let me see. I can't remember where Herdier was at. Find that real quick. Yeah, Herdier was really low at 6 points, and that would have been a steal. I mean, you have it on your
Yes.
team, right?
It was actually the only roster change I'd made all season.
Right. Yeah. So those were two of my picks for the intimidate user at that point. And so with that in mind, though, I have Regice weak to fighting, Stoutland or Herdier weak to fighting. So I kind of wanted to keep that in mind if I'm going to be taking that in a later round. And so after that point, I started thinking about my next duo because I'm 11 wrapped around to the pick for basically a duo pick. And Wartortle Sceptile is my next pair, and this is a really really cool pairing. If you look at it, the points are very very low. Like I mean, Sceptile's 12, but Wartortle 6 points is insane. Like it's
literal
very, very
steal.
good.
Yeah, I fully agree.
It has Fake Out, it has Icy Wind, it has Aqua Jet, it has Water Pledge for Water Pledge plus Grass Pledge. Yawn, which was the MVP move. I'm probably like not exaggerating. Like yawning any Dynamax target, like it's just insane. It basically forces them to switch out, put a terrain down, do something, or else they're losing a turn of their Dynamax.
Like not only that, but this is also the first Pokemon that you have that has access to holding Eviolite. So like, having your base 80 defenses.
Point, yeah.
Base 80 defenses are now essentially base 120. Like, Wartortle is very difficult to deal with, in an offensive stance. It's just like, yeah, sure, I'll sit here and take every hit you throw at me and just annoy you. It really does take doubling up into it to
it's surprisingly
KO.
Bulky.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing with Wartortle plus Sceptile is Sceptile's Unburden.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we aren't like activating a weakness policy, we can activate a Absorb Bulb or a Luminous Moss or a Keyberry with Aqua Jet, and your 120 base speed, you don't have to invest anything in that. You can invest in HP and attack or special attack, and now you're still going faster than everything. You could Dynamax. You can have, I don't know, boost your defenses with I think it has Iron Tail and Earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some physical, or I think it has a fighting move, Brick Break, maybe another one. You could play, but it has insane coverage. It has, I loved the physical sets, even though it has a lower physical attack. I think it's
85 versus 85 105.
Yeah, it's just an incredible Pokemon. I loved that duo so much.
Yeah, its physical move pool is absurd. You have access to acrobatics, so like you can have a max airstream, which is very useful. You have breaking swipe, which is essentially just intimidate.
And then Leaf Blade is just so good.
Yeah, for sure.
Chance to crit. It's 90 base power, 100 accuracy.
And like, I don't know if you ever did it, but you can just be like Focus Sash, trigger your Unburden, and then just
very close,
and then just endeavor them.
Endeavor, yeah. I think that was the week that I swapped to Fling Light Ball, actually, which activates your Unburden, but paralyzes them.
Yep.
So anyway, that was my second duo pair there. and this was like a great pair. So from here though, I didn't really change any of my fighting type weaknesses. Um, but I knew that I still wanted this herdier Stoutland, and I did want a steel type because steel types are so good in max formats with max steel.
Agreed. Agreed.
Um, so I I'll tell you why later, but Kling Klang was on the top of my list for steel types, even though there's some other really cool ones like there's Steelix and Aggron, which are kind of cool. Um, Honestly, there wasn't too many in the format, but Kling Klang was on the top of my list, and it did fall down to me. So with that in mind, though, I did want some more ways to mitigate this fighting type weakness,
Mm-hmm.
and that was at first glance I thought Dracoloak would be kind of interesting because I do have two fire weaknesses as well, so that's a fire resist. Um, Overall, it kind of unimpressed me. It was just too frail to make use of the there. It basically just dies to anything. It's not that strong. What's its offense? It's 80 attack, 60 special attack. It's okay speed 102, but it just doesn't have the tools that Dragapult has. So it was probably not worth grabbing there. But I did want some more resistance to this fighting weakness I had.
Not only that, but like
Yep.
talking about like things that it just doesn't do. Um, it has base 50 defenses and is also not
Yeah.
fully evolved Pokemon. So like, why would you ever slap your Eviolite on this when you have War Turtle? Like,
right, and
I think
I think I only ran it with Sash. Right.
I think you only brought it like once or twice. It was just
Yeah.
very underwhelming every time you brought it.
Yeah, it definitely was. There's probably some other ways I could have run it. Maybe like Scarf with Willow, T-Wave, something U-turn.
I know.
But
I think it was Jay who had Haunter this season, and he played.
Haunter is surprisingly good.
He played Scarf Haunter, and it's just like, all right, Energy Ball you, Willow Wisp you.
95 speed, 115 special attack.
Yeah,
that's pretty strong.
It was very good.
So then this Kling Klang was actually an interesting pick because on its surface, it like without knowing its move pool, like in depth, it seems like it'd be really cool, support mon with Trick Room. If you take a look at its move pool, it does not have that many support moves. It has, let's see, it has T-Wave, it has Volt Switch, and that's about it. It has Screech and Metal Sound, which are both 85% accuracy, which is pretty cool. But 85 accuracy is kind of rough.
Yeah.
I did run it against you, but that didn't work because of Blissey reasons. But the other interesting thing it has is Ally Switch, which I think I clicked 1 or 0 times.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah.
That was when
it
was an early season of our draft league that we run through Littleroot lessons that I took Kling Klang. And it, just everything you said, it's just like, all right, you have Ally Switch, but like the rest of your move pool is pretty weak when it comes to support moves. So it's like, what else do I want to do here? Like you have Thunder Wave, which is cool. You have Trick Room as a steel type, which is also cool.
So that was one of the big reasons I liked Kling Klang was it got this Trick Room. It helps my slow mode a little bit more. And then the other thing it has is it has Clear Body, which is kind of interesting because it has Shift Gear. So you can go +2 speed, +1 attack, and you just can't get intimidated. You can't get slowed. It could get burned still, but it's surprisingly strong with a base 100 attack, base 90 speed. It's an interesting setup Pokemon, and I did actually use this. I think
most
in
weeks
the semifinals.
Yeah, there was a lot of weeks that you brought Kling Klang.
I brought Kling Klang a lot, but the setup one I think maybe only once or twice. But yet really all it does is it sets Trick Room, and then it has Steel and Electric. it does that. That's about basically it. It's very good though. I do love its stats and its trick room ability and whatever. All
Man,
that.
thinking about for next season, so next season we're doing no weakness policy ban. So policy is going to be legal, but Dynamax is banned.
Hmm.
And Clink Clang looks terrifying in that because like you just pair it with like any bulldoze user, it's like, all right, well now it's the fastest thing on the field because
Guess what other spread move you get that's electric type that has 30% chance
yeah,
to
discharge. So like
Yeah.
weakness policy Clink Clang next to a bulldoze user is just like, all right, cool, whatever.
Bulldoze, discharge. Yep. Very interesting to think about.
I'm over
Yeah,
here
so that was
giving
the
away
next,
strategies.
right. So that was the next duo, and from there, this is as far as I wanted to go without picking up my Intimidate. So next was going to be Stoutland, and from there, I sort of saw that I had a decent fast mode as well. So I was thinking of ways to sort of support that with some more speed control, because Stoutland is what, base 80 speed, and Kling Klang is base 90.
Yes.
Sceptile is obviously 120, which is insane. 102 on Dracloak. So I decided to pick up Galvantula, and I wasn't too sure about it at first. Like looking at its stats, it's sort of unimpressive. 108 is okay. It's okay. It's just not impressive.
Its
Like,
bulk is just very, very lackluster.
yeah, it
70,
needs to hold
60,
back.
60 is really bad. Even
And
like in this league where your power level is so much lower, it's just like,
Mhm.
oh man, you just die to everything. Any super
Right,
effective hit just KOs you.
Right, no, yeah, it has to hold Sash. And the other thing is its special attack is okay, 97.
Yeah, 97 is like good. It is
Yeah.
usable. It is serviceable.
Yeah, and it's not gonna, it's not gonna be the strongest thing, but it's
Mhm.
still holding a stash. It's not gonna be holding a life orb or something like that. Most times. Compound Eyes is cool. Swarm is interesting with Sash.
Mhm.
But the main reason I liked it was and also String Shot. String Shot is basically Scary Face on both opponents at 95 accuracy. So with Compound Eyes, it's
100% accurate.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing double Scary Face.
You also get Sticky Web, which is like a really sick like setup hazard
Yeah, it's an interesting hazard.
that is
If
not widely like accessible.
if it wasn't a Dynamax format, maybe I'd think about it a little bit more. But the fact that you're sticking around a little bit more often, and you're not switching as much, it's something to think about. It has Rain Dance, which is interesting. I actually used that twice, I think. Um, get some interesting damaging moves too, like Skitter Smack. What's Struggle Bug?
Struggle Bug's
Rising
really good.
Voltage.
Strugel Boojel.
Yeah,
You also
I did
like
max it 1 week, interestingly enough.
you also have
For
like
the max
access to
bug.
Electro Web, which I think you said. You also get dual screens. It looks like, or at least light screen.
You get light screen. I don't think you get reflect.
You do
I would've-
not. But you
I
get
would've done that,
lunge.
yeah.
You get lunge.
Lunge is interesting, yeah. It gets so many interesting moves. Sucker Punch, Throat Chop, Energy Ball, Speed Drain, Bug Butt. Like it's got a really cool move pool. I actually ran Thief. What is it called? Thief Focus Sash too.
That's sick.
I don't think I ever got to click it, but it was very funny.
It also has speed swap. That's something I did not.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I did not
that's
actually
one
think
of the
about. Huh.
big reasons I liked it, because I could put it on my like Dusknoir or Regice and then go fast with them.
Yeah, Galvantula
Um,
is one that I've never played with in like a draft league or anything. Tim has tried to convince me multiple times to draft it, and every time it's just like, I mean,
It was
I
one that I'm
could.
Yeah, it has to hold the sash, which is
Yeah.
the problem. But other than that, it was very impressive actually.
You just play it next to
So-
Shuckle and you guard split it, and then
Oh,
it doesn't
no.
matter.
I mean, it still only has a 70 HP.
You are correct. Yes.
So from there, I sort of had my fast mode. I had my Intimidate. I had my speed control. My slow mode could use a little bit of work, and I didn't have that much damage mitigation other than Intimidate. So I looked into Solrak and Lunatone, and you actually picked up Lunatone.
Yep, we made the mutual
I
agreement
think,
that if I took Lunatone, you were taking Solrock.
yeah, and honestly, I think Solrak is the worst of the two, even though it does have Will-O-Wisp, which is interesting, but
In
these
all
are different.
actuality, I was really disappointed in both of them this season. They
Yeah,
just, I want them to be
I
better than
wish it
they
was
are.
better. Yeah, it has Rain Dance, Sunny Day. It has dual screens. It has Trick Room. It has some offensive pressure in Power Herb, Meteor Beam. It has Flare Blitz, but I don't know. Its stats are just mediocre all around. Like it has 70 speed, um, okay bulk, bad typing. I mean, it's not great. If it was like solo rock with levitate, that'd be really cool. But psychic typing kind of actually hinders it.
It's, I want it to be good so bad, and it's not, and it
Yeah,
sucks.
I have it good on paper, bad in practice.
Yep, and I think that's the best way to explain it.
And then I also sort of, well, at this point I'm running out of points, and Dunsparce looked really, really appealing to me for some reasons that didn't actually end up ever working. You know, Serene
You
Grace with
wanted
Body Slam.
Dunsparce as bad as I wanted Shedinja, and I tried to
Yep.
talk you out of it the entire time. You're like, "No, I'm doing it."
Like, so I had this Dracloak, which has beat up,
Yep.
and Dunsparce has rattled.
Uh
So
huh.
that's +4 speed, but it's also not fast enough to outspeed anything. And it also has really bad stats, and it has, I don't know, like if you're rattled, then you're not Serene Grace, but if you're Serene Grace, then you're slow, so it has to be on a Trick Room. I don't know. It was a mess. I
So
tried to do Serene Grace Body Slam, Serene Grace Headbutt, Serene Grace King's Rock with Scale Shot, which makes it 20% on each of the attacks. There's Air Slash, there's Calm Mind Roost, Store.
you also get Glare, which is actually like super unique as well.
Glare is like the one of the
Glare is
better
its
things.
saving grace, like
It
100%
gets Yawn
accurate.
too.
Yeah,
Like it has so many good moves. It's just
it's
stats are just
so bad. It's so bad. I'd want it to be so good. And like,
Mhm.
obviously we are not the only ones. There's a
Yeah.
huge group of people that are trying to rally behind Dunsparce forever. And
Uh-huh.
it's just so bad.
It deserves so much more.
It really does.
So then I think at that point I had my team was rounded out pretty well. I think I have 6 points left. Yeah, exactly 6 points left. And somehow Dunsparce is there at 6 points, and it's there in the final round at pick 11. Sorry, did I meant Spiritomb.
Yeah, you said Dunsparce, but you meant Spiritomb. Correct.
Yeah, so Spiritomb's there, final round, second to last pick, 6 points, and I'm like, well, I still have all these fighting weaknesses, and Spiritomb was really interesting to me, so I was like, why not? You had it last season, and
It was
did some
good.
interesting.
When
It did some
Spiritomb was
interesting
good,
things.
it was absolutely insane.
And
It was
I
just
don't think that I realized how good it was until maybe the second half of the season. Like it holds a choice
exactly.
band with Poltergeist or what's the dark choice band?
Do you get Sucker Punch,
I think
right?
it's Crunch. Oh yeah, Sucker Punch. Also, it does not get Crunch. It's Sucker Punch that I used. It also gets Lash Out. Gets Dark Pulse if you're on a special because it has 92 attack and special.
You also get Payback, which like on a Pokemon that's as slow as Spiritomb, taking a hit is like not the worst thing. Granted, you do have base 50 HP, but like the rest of your bulk
You
is
have to
good.
be-
Like 108 in both your defenses is good.
You have to put 252 into HP for sure.
Yeah.
It holds the lefties pretty well because it does have that low HP, and it gets right underneath of a break point. Oh, actually no, it should wrong. It's better if it passes the break. Anyway, sorry. It's really slow, so it does work in the Trick Room, but the one thing I wish I had was Trick Room itself. Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Which is so bizarre.
Right.
Like, why does Clink Clang have access to Trick Room, but
right.
the 108 ghosts do not?
It does have Infiltrator, which is cool too, so you can ignore some
Hmm.
of those screens and things. Will-O-Wisp, Trick, which I've used, I think, on this one. You get Sunny Day, Rain Dance. I used Calm Mind, Dark Pulse, I think, one week. Calm Mind, Pain Split, Dark Pulse.
And then
It's really
probably.
nice on the lower HP
Hmm.
Pokemon.
It also has like
Um,
Icy Wind and Hex. There's a lot that Spiritomb does really well. I will be
yeah,
the
it's a
first to
very
admit
cool
that.
Pokemon. Ally Switch too, for those inclined.
I am, yes.
Yeah, I'm not. So I think that basically rounds out. Yeah, I had all those fighting weaknesses, so Spiritomb was another interesting thing. It doesn't add a dark weakness, which I was sort of getting too many of. Um, and yeah, if I think that's basically all I wanted to talk about the drafting process. I do have one other thing that actually a couple of little drafting strategies that I want to talk about. If that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Just they're not exactly the Pokemon that I picked, but just in general the things that I like to do when I'm drafting. So one thing I really wanted to try this time, and I think it worked out for me, was I wanted to try a lack of type diversity, if that makes sense. And if you look at my Pokemon, you'll see that 7 of the 11 of them are monotypes. They do have a few overlapping weaknesses in fighting, but I do have a lot of ways to mitigate that immunity. But I think that really makes it so that you can't, if you're prepping for this type of team, there's not as many overlapping super effective moves other than just that fighting move. So you can't just use like one coverage move. You might have to use multiple coverage moves to account for a couple of these different Pokemon here, and that's gonna fill up your sets pretty fast. Um, Especially like on a sweeper, you can't have maybe a protect then if you wanted to cover for
Hmm.
all these different Pokemon. And I'm not sure if that worked exactly or not, but that's one of the things I tried to do was to try to do only monotypes or as many monotypes as I could, and that's one of the reasons why I did end up picking the Klinklang over things like the Agrons or the Steelixes. There was actually Magneton, Magnezone. Magneton would have been pretty nice, I think, but then that leads me to another of my um, drafts is to never ever 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 draft a 4 times weakness Pokemon. That's
Yeah.
my biggest thing. Is because any Pokemon can just tack on a play rough or a dazzling gleam or whatever to just I don't know chip away at your Hydreigon and do 85% of its damage, even if you're not invested in the special attack, the dazzling gleam or something like that.
I'm
So
pulling up my roster for this season,
yeah,
and I'm trying to see how many have a 4 times weakness. And I, for the life,
Iggy has a bug.
yeah.
Um, I forget what else you have. I'm sorry.
Oh, you and me both. I haven't looked at the thing in like a month and a half. Let's see, Master Doc. There we go.
Eggy. Actually, you just have Eggy.
Is it really just Eggy?
You might have had some more, but a lot of these are like Wailord, Flareon, Vulpix, Tangela, Morgrem. Yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah, cool.
if I look through a lot of these people's you know drafts, like there's a Ninjask on the one, there's a Linoon G,
Yeah, here's an
um,
Onyx.
right, Onyx. There's Magnezone, Flygon. Magnezone, Flygon on the same team,
Oof.
um, and Mantike. Uh, let's see, there's a Mantine. Like it's not the worst thing to have a 4 times weakness if you have things around it built
Correct.
for it, but then you have to build around it for that.
Correct.
Um,
You
and
have to be prepared to face 4 times weaknesses all season.
yeah, and on things that you don't think that it might have it, right? So like you could have just an icy wind on something, and your Flygon's taking 50% from an icy wind now,
Yeah.
something random. So that was one of my strategy. I mean, it's one of my strategies for every draft league. For this draft league in particular was the monotypes. And then yeah, so one of the major things was once I started realizing I had all these fighting combo weaknesses, is I just started drafting ghost types. And honestly, the duo of Dust Noir Spiritomb was incredible. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
two of them don't share a weakness. Like it's ghost, or sorry, dark resist ghost and dark, so they don't share a weakness at all. It's just I don't know, it was just a great combo there. But then also it gives me two great immunes to fighting as well. Um, and then I sort of alluded to it earlier, but the Regice plus Stoutland, or Regice plus Intimidate, and then also to a lesser extent having these Will-O-Wisps as well on these different ghost type Pokemon. Can you pardon me for 1 second?
Yeah, of course. Do your thing, dude.
Sorry, my dogs were starting to get a little loud.
You're good.
And then the last thing is I don't switch up my drafts. I don't like to drop and swap and trade. It's just the way I'm built. I don't know why, but I made my bed and I'm lying in it. So
Agreed.
yeah, so that was that. Any more comments or questions or anything for me before we? I guess we can get into some of the season stuff too.
Yeah, I think let's just go a little. Let's go in depth here with the season breakdown. I know. So going into the last like 3 weeks, there were I think 5 people fighting for 2 playoff spots, I believe. It was you and then the Liberty Bellsprouts who ended up taking those 2 spots. Yeah, you and Applejacks.
The Torteras, the Bidoofs, and then us two were all in
Yes.
contention. Yeah, like we're all 4-7, and then Liberty Bellsprouts were 5-6.
And it's crazy because it came down to essentially the last 2 games of the season both involved Applejacks playing the last of his matches. One against myself and then one against who was his week 11 opponent? The Bidoofs. And depending on if I won, you and I were locked. If I lost, you were locked. If he lost both, you and I were locked. It was just like absurdly complicated for the sake of 2 games.
Yeah.
Like I needed him to lose both. He ended up losing 1, I believe. So it came down to me winning. I had to win my last 2. He had to lose his last 2. And like it was just oh my lord. It was so complex, and it came down to game wins. It came down to it looks like game wins. Yes.
Differential.
Yes.
So a lot surprising, not but interestingly enough, a lot of my losses were 2-1 losses.
Yes.
So if I go through it, Erie Espers, Blazikins, those are both 2-1 losses. There was a 2-1 loss to the Bellsprouts, a 2-1 loss to the Steelixes. Actually, what were all of my losses 2-1? Oh no, I had an 0-2 versus the Potown Throwdowns.
And then Matthew Sandslashes as well was 2-0.
Yeah, and an 0-2 to the Sandslashes. That's right. So two 0-2s in the last 2 weeks was kind of unfortunate, and then 2 1-2s in the beginning of the season. So I lost my first 2, lost my last 2, and then 1-7 in the middle, I guess. Somehow.
No, you snuck in at 4-7.
Right, yeah, and I lost my first 2 games 1-2, and then I lost my last 2 games 0-2.
Yes, it's just like, oh, things are like I remember like after the first couple matches, you were like, man, things are not looking great, and like I think I was 1-1 at the time, and I'm just like it's all right, we'll be fine, we're both gonna make playoffs, it'll be great. And about that.
And then I think I had winning in the last 2.
Yes.
I lost the last 2 0-2.
And like
that was
then
kind of crazy.
it was like it came down to your playoff spot is up in the air. Everyone else is gonna have to just like do things for you to make it happen.
Yeah, and all of those 1-2 losses were the ways that I. Oh wait, actually, I think I was counting wrong.
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry. I had some losses in the middle there too. But anyway, I'm sorry. The fact that I had so many 1-2 losses was the fact that
Yep.
it was the only way that I got it. Like
your game differential was -2. Ninth place was -4. So
right, exactly.
had you lost 2 of those,
taking those to game 3 was the way that I snuck in.
Yeah, just absolutely absurd. And like and then yeah, just absolutely insane. So then we get to postseason.
Top 8, right? Yeah, and it's 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5, or whatever. And so I'm rematching my previous week against Matthew.
Yes.
I had just gotten blown out 0-2. I should have rewatched the games, but
I'm pulling up the 2 teams just to see what we did different in prep. So it looks like regular season we brought War Turtle, Stoutland, Spirit Tomb, Sceptile, Dusk Noir, Kling Kling. And then in postseason we brought Spirit Tomb, Kling Kling, Sceptile, Soul Rock. So we brought Soul Rock and Galvantula over Dusk Noir. Oh wait, am I wrong? Okay.
So I had Soul Rock eventually in.
Yes. Okay, there we go.
I swapped it to look like Dusk Noir and War Turtle in postseason. And he had
He dropped Altaria for Gardevoir, and
no, other way around again.
Good. Am I right? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know which ones I'm looking for.
He dropped Corsola and picked up Altaria. He dropped Gardevoir and picked up Skuntank.
Yes, there we go. Cool. Which, like, I think this works out, obviously, in your favor. But in prep, I really do think that, like you and I kind of have already talked about, Solrak kind of sucks at everything.
Yeah, I can't remember what exactly the reason was I brought it. I could look into I'll try to find the pastes and put them in the document later. Why, or like what I brought exactly. That'd be useful to see, like what the texts I brought on it were. So I bet you it was for Magmar.
Oh, sure he brought Scarf coaching. He brought Scarf coaching Machamp.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was kind of rough.
It looks like he brought Scarf Machamp to both.
Yeah, so the Soul Rock was definitely for the Magmar. It has Rain Dance, Rock Tomb, Light Screen, and Reflect.
Sweet.
But he ended up bringing Physical, and I had spec'd into Special Defense on a lot of my things, so that was unfortunate. But yeah, somehow, it was a strange game 2, I believe, in the in that.
Is this in postseason?
And so I think it came down to Gear Grind flinching. No, Gear Grind critting. Yeah, it turn 10 of game 2. Gear Grind crit just saved me somehow, and then game 3 I was able to pull it back around. It was a really, really toughly fought match from both of us.
Oh man,
that set was probably one of the crazier sets.
Agreed.
In the entire season.
Agreed. I remember just watching people like live reaction to these matches going on. It's like, Oh no,
Yeah,
this is not good.
that was that was a crazy match. Then I guess what was it, the semifinals was against the Sligoos
Yes.
and Foil Feline. They have a really interesting Cramorant team, but it has like multiple lightning rod, users. And that was actually the time that I brought Galvantula and maxed at turn one with Max Corner to try to um, neuter the Manectric. That was really interesting.
Oh, I forgot she had the cow too. I forgot.
Yep.
I think the cow is what did me in when we played.
hmm
I was not ready for Dynamax cow.
That one was overall a really fun match, in my opinion. Like it was just trying to make sure that the Manectric doesn't get like too many boosts and trying to deal with speed control at the same time with like Electro Web, and I don't know, it was a really tough match. But overall, like this Spiritomb was incredible this time. This Will-O-Wisp onto all of his physical threats, and yeah, it was a really fun match. That one was.
Yeah, her team's really interesting. Was very like not. I don't want to say all in on Cramorant, but definitely was like we're going to try to do Cramorant things as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I think she brought Scarf Dive, and Scarf Surf
That's
or
sick.
something like
I
that.
love it.
I think it was physical, but it had Surf on it for some to proc something. I think it was Absorb Bulb on the Swoobat, the simple Swoobat.
I'm currently
Really
watching your
interesting.
replay, and you're over here setting up with Spiritomb, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good match, and just I think the big thing is you rallied back from the 0-2 against Matthew to
Mm-hmm.
bring it back, and get the 2-0 the following week. Just really,
2-1.
oh yeah, excuse me, the 2-1,
Yeah.
and just really identifying what went wrong and how to fix it. I think
Right.
it's just like
Exactly. Yeah.
because the other two matches you beat both Prime and Foiled in regular season. I know.
Right. Yeah. And I do think that I switched up a little bit
Hmm.
in both of those matches from the regular season, and that's something that I think I have a problem with as a player. Maybe is deciding when to switch up and when not to. If I'm doing a repeat like this, so um, I think I have a habit of like, let's say game one works perfectly well. I don't want to lead the same thing for whatever like it's just against my nature
I
to
understand.
repeat the matchup.
I understand
Um,
completely. It's
and
like
I think that you know carries over to um, playing a second best of three. Is like I don't want to play the same thing again because even though it worked last time, like I don't know, they can prep for it or something like that. But I don't know. It's just something I have to think about as a player or is trying to consider that stuff. Do you want to talk about finals a little bit?
yeah, of
This one
course,
was
of course.
very interesting. Oops, volume on.
Let's see.
Pangoro. That one, Pangoro Dedenne. That one was a really solid and really tough duo. But I think the fact that I had this Wartortle Sceptile duo, and I had the Max Dragon to lower the attack and keep it in check. Keeping he had Scrappy, so I couldn't intimidate. But
Hmm.
I had to kind of deal with the fact that he could have this ally switch, and I think he has both Charm and Eerie Impulse on the Dedenne, and I think he was trying to figure out which I thought was physical or special, and I don't know if I actually reveal it. I probably do because I Steel Spike, and I think that's only
You do end up
um,
clicking Leaf Blade in game one, so you do reveal
okay.
that you're
Okay, yeah,
physical.
gotcha. Yeah, it was honestly it was a really tough match to play through. Like I had to consider a lot of different things because that Pangoro was scary, but if I were able to keep it, in check with the Max Dragon, but I also have to worry about the fact that he could have a ally switch on the Dedenne, and follow me with Togepi.
Oh,
So
I forgot you stall him out of blizzards on his
I
Rotom.
forgot about that.
And like he freezes your Kling Kling as well on Blizzard. So it's just like, well, War Turtle, you gotta do it, buddy.
Yeah, I think I just kept on. What did I do? I just
You just Aqua Jetted it to down.
right as it was doing basically nothing to me as
Yeah.
well. Well, it was doing something, and then it was struggling.
And
That
then
was pretty interesting there.
game 2, Prime accidentally misclicks, leads incorrectly. And
Yeah, I'm not sure what the. I guess he doesn't have a max option.
I believe he said,
turn one.
if I remember correctly, afterwards he said that he meant to lead Pangoro as well. And based on the team that you brought, it was like less than 50% chance to KO. I believe you're Kling Kling here on turn 1. So yeah, just really, really came down to just immediately punching you in the face, essentially.
I guess the time that I brought the Life Orb Kling Klang, because
Yes,
the max steel spikes kind of just ran through. I was surprised. Like, I don't think I did that the first time, and I can't believe I didn't see it. But like, it just kind of runs through everything on his team. You're getting these defense boosts for the Excelgor and the Pangoro, and even potentially the Gorgeist, and then like the steel just does either neutral or super effective on almost everything there.
Yeah. The only thing that doesn't take the only resist he has is Gorgeist. And it's just like, well, we don't care about that. It's fine.
Right. Let me see. I don't actually remember what he had on the rest of the team though, because he might have had something that made me. Let's see. Bronzor. Bronzor is the reason probably.
Yes.
And I don't know if I brought. Let me see if I can find it. I might have brought a dark move, assurance or something on it just in case. Yeah, I had assurance on it and Giga Impact. So I was leaning into either I could max strike to slow down or go Trick Room, just go under, because I was 252, but I wasn't plus nature. I was plus into attack, so I could go under max speed, obviously like Lake and Rock, and what was my speed actually at? 156. No, it was like 140 or so. So it's underneath like Dedenne and Lake and Rock, but over top of things like Pangoro if I wanted to stay out of Trick Room. So I probably didn't need all that speed. I probably could have got a little bit more into HP or something, but it was what it was. I really liked that the set there because I was able to showcase a lot of different modes of my team, both the Trick Room and the fast mode.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that was probably the first time I brought Keyberry on a set
panel,
which
I believe
really cool.
so. I genuinely have to look up Keyberry every time because I do not remember. Defense boost, got it. Defense boost on a physical hit, is that right?
Yep. Right, exactly. Yeah. So I had Aqua Jet for that, or whatever he was, dealing with his Pangor or Lightning Rock.
Got it. Yeah, just crazy. I love it.
Basically, it's the physical AV, but I can have Protect. Actually, I didn't even have Protect. I had Worry Seed on this one. I forget what was Worry Seeding for. Oh, yeah. It was, I was thinking about doing it for either Pangoro or, who else is on his team? Pangoro or Bronzor, so I could use ground attacks, or I could intimidate it. And also in case I needed to, I think he has Hypnosis somewhere. Jigglypuff will sing, but yeah.
Nah, Jigglypuff has Perish Song. That's the one you gotta worry for.
Yeah. Really fun match too. Obviously all of these postseason matches were very fun. And if you're listening, you can take a look at the replays. I'll have Carl make sure to put this document in the description.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna throw this up on the website once you're done writing everything up that you want to. So, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for season 6. I'm assuming
saying
I'm assuming you're coming back to hold your title.
I'd love to, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to.
The fact that we're lowering the power level pretty significantly is going to be really interesting. I'm pretty excited. The fact that we're also removing Dynamax makes there are certain things that are going to be
that was my
so
biggest,
much better.
Yeah, that was my biggest I guess hype for it, is the fact that there's gonna be no Dynamax.
Yeah.
But I am a little bit worried that weakness policy is gonna be a little overwhelming, but we'll see.
There's going to
Something to think
be
about.
there's definitely things that are just like going to be pushed out. I've already made my stake that Riolu is too good, Morgrim is too good, Sneasel is too good. Get just like all the good prankster Pokemon, tell them to go away.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of your Mach Punches and Vacuum Waves and things are gonna be really good too.
They just hit so many different types super effectively to be able to proc a policy whenever you need to.
Ice Shards.
Delibird's gonna make its comeback. Calling it now. Someone's gonna run Delibird and it's going to be useful. And then they're gonna get sad when they miss because of hustle.
Oh gosh. I don't. God, there's what's the Mr. Mime Galar? I don't know if he's gonna be around, but that's gonna be a menace because it has Violet.
It's so bulky.
Yeah, and then it has Ice Shard for proccing a policy. What else is? Let's see. There's Mach Punch. Magmar gets Mach Punch for whatever reason.
Hot.
There's not actually that many. Girder, I don't know if he's going to be allowed, but we'll see.
I know you have like Aqua Jet, Ice Shard, Mach Punch, Vacuum Wave.
Vacuum Wave from like Toxicroak.
Sucker Punch is technically something you can do as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Shadow Sneak.
Oh, Shadow Sneak is another good one. Not
Yeah, there's a lot that
not a lot of Pokemon.
Really. There's not?
Am I wrong? We have like
there's a bunch of Pumpkaboos and
yeah.
That's why it's overinflated.
Rowlet, got it. So then it's not even Stab. I'm so smart.
I bet you Gardevoir's out, but that would be
I think Guardy was already really high this season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I bet G's out. Doublade, I don't know if it's around, but
dude, I can't imagine it's going to be. The thing is so obnoxiously bulky. Oh man, it's gonna be really interesting.
There's so many Sucker Punches. I'm sorry.
How many are we talking?
Like 60.
Oh, good lord. Now, how many are actually going to be legal? That's the big thing. I didn't know Appleton gets Sucker Punch. That's cool.
There's like Drizzile gets Sucker Punch. Haunter.
I knew Haunter did. Graphlock does. Hitmontop, which Hitmontop has a bunch of different moves it has access to, but luckily it's banned.
Yeah.
I love Hitmontop, but it is too good. What does Hitmonchan do? Does it get Sucker Punch? Nope. Mach Punch? Okay. Bullet Punch?
Yeah.
Yes.
It gets Iron Fist and Inner Focus. It also gets Fake Out. Really cool, actually.
Yeah, Inner Focus is going to be like really popular because Fake Out gets a huge boost because you know you can't just Dynamax and ignore it now. So I think a lot of the
banned?
Is what?
Is Litten banned?
I think we're banning Torracat for sure. I don't think Litten's going to be banned. I think we're banning Torracat and Thwackey. Because I think Thwacky's just too good.
Yeah.
Having like
imagine,
decent bulk.
Banded Grassy Glides.
Or just like even Eviolite.
Yeah.
See, you have 85 attack. How high is Rillaboom's? It's 125. So like, I mean, Band essentially gets you to Rillaboom punching you. Yeah, that seems a little obnoxious. But yeah, just
sorry, my dogs are going crazy again.
You're good, dude. You're good. I think it's about time we wrap it up anyway.
All right. Yeah.
Do you want to plug your socials, all that good stuff for the people?
I don't have any. Just come join the server.
Are you not
LRL?
You're
server.
on Twitter, aren't you?
I am, but I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, come hang out. Be on the lookout for RTT Season 6 when that starts. Hi, Pupper. And I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Have a good one. Peace.